understand. So the first thing I want to ask, just from watching, I think if you can see it here. Once we get a little lower, just before we even get into anything, kind of looks like we're lagging, right?
I might be.
Yeah. So before we get into anything, like, how's your how many FPS is what's your average FPS while you play?
Sometimes when the game first starts, it'll like do like frame drops of 20 to 30, but usually by the second half or after I play a game or two, it'll go back up to 60.
Okay, it's a little,
It's like my game has to warm up usually.
Okay. Um, are you on like the all the no that's the wrong things options. Are you on like the all the obvious things like all low
Yeah, I've got
maybe
everything to low.
80 render scale or 75? Okay. Yeah. That's a little rough sometimes, yeah. Just drops. So what's our goal on Lucio? Like what do we want to do?
In this comp.
Yeah.
Speed in, speed out. If someone's trying to take an off angle, uh, focus that.
Okay. What else? What about our heal? When do we use our heal?
In mid fight, if it's like a longer fight, no need. If I don't need to speed anywhere, I try to be on heal.
Yeah. Okay. And what about our boop? What do we
Boop against them, probably boop the Reaper away.
Okay, so what do we need to be doing in order to boop the Reaper away? Like how do we get to that? That's like the end goal. Where do we want to
Uh,
be to boop the
Try to
Reaper
like
away?
stack on, I guess near my monkey, but like on wall, like not on top of him, like on walls around him.
Yeah, right?
Keep the Reaper away from my monkey.
Yeah, keep the Reaper away from your tank, right? So we need to be, in sync with our tank, right? So we can boop them away. Um, and then going back to that's one of the main jobs as Lucio, right? Where we speed our team somewhere, right? They need to go in, they need to go out, and we fuck up their Reaper, right? A good job to see like how annoying you are is just watching it from the other Reaper's POV and how much he gets booped, right? Compared to your Reaper. And then the next thing is just watching it back. We with our amps for healing, right? We want to do it when our monkey is stop calling me. When he actually needs it, right? So here is kind of fine, right? Our monkey got low, but there's other fights where I'll bring that up later on. Where our monkey isn't even in danger and we're amping heals, right? So keep making sure, like you said, in the mid fight when he actually needs it, right? If he can just walk away and get solely healed, then he'll get solely healed. When he goes in, might need that amp speed for something else,
Okay.
right? I have a few timestamps we're gonna look at. I think like 4 or 5. That's mainly what we're gonna focus on. It looks like there's, other than the lagging thing, I think there's just a break in communication between the monkey and you, in terms of
Okay.
yeah.
It's in our main tank. This is our off tank. I'm assuming our main tank wasn't here this day, and this monkey can't calm,
Okay.
so he cannot. He
Is
does
some
not talk at all.
is someone else calming or like is stepping up or like who's the one saying
Um.
that we're pressing W? I guess is the simplest.
So I guess in this comp, when we're playing without with this tank in, I guess I would say I'm probably the main shot caller. But yeah, so that's just I think why there is a brink in communication between I would say just the whole team. But
Okay. Yeah, because we'll look at what time? We'll look at attack first because that's what I was looking at most recently. Here, right? We complete the rotation. We're here. Right. We'll rewind a little bit. We walk forward. Chill, chill, chill. We make their diva walk away a little bit. And so right here, do we need to amp heals?
no.
No, like we're not in danger, right? No one's even low, right? So that's the, we could amp speed and make a rotation to maybe over here, and then pressure point. We could just amp onto them, right, with speed. That's the first thing, right? And I think we do the rest of this fight all right. rotate to point. Yeah, we're gonna look a little later in the fight over here. Right. So just one thing for this payload, for this point, we don't have to stay here. The card will automatically get to here by itself, right?
Okay.
So we could be pushed up, and then even if we were, like, we had to be on cart here, right? Let's look at this from our Zarya's POV. Right? There's like a Reaper just walking on them, right? And we are on cart. So even if we were pushed up and the payload was further back, the Lucio wants to be with the tank or with the with the people pushed up.
Yeah.
So they can speed away, right? Like, especially since we're taking a 5v4, you're never gonna win the 5v4, right? You don't want to take it at a disadvantage. So as soon as the enemy team pushes, the Lucio can speed back so that they get in range of the BAP healing. Is generally how it'll go. So yeah, so we're not here to disengage the speed our Zarya away from the threats. We're also not here to boop the Reaper away. And I think our Zarya just dies. Yeah, right. And then add on to that the cart gets here by itself,
Okay.
Yeah, so keep in mind, they have a Reaper. We really want to be, fucking them up, giving more time for our DPS to flank, or just, kill their soldier and kill their BAP with the Zarya bubbles. Look at the next timestamp. It is 11:30. Alright. I think this was a pretty long fight with a lot of Qs. We do a good job. We beat. Right? Even though we have beat health, right? Our beat health is wearing off. Our Zarya is really low, and we still want to be focusing on denying the Reaper. Right? Especially when they get the beat health. Either denying the Reaper or speeding our team away. Right? And we're kind of not doing not doing either, right?
Yeah.
And the Zarya just kind of walks on our the Reaper kind of walks on the Zarya, right? So if we look at this from his POV, he was kind of pretty free. Fuck him up. Right? And just one boops him out of range, maybe you boop him down here, and then that's just less damage. And we look at this fight a little later, where it's up here. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention at the start. And this is why I brought up the communication with your tank, right? It's kind of unfortunate they don't talk. Aside from, like, I'll get later onto defense with our amp speeds. You look like you had the right idea, it's just disconnect, right? Not saying you're wrong, not saying the tank's wrong. But we're always just in front of our tank when we, for a few fights when we don't have to be, which again might just be a communication thing. You're calling to push and then nothing happens, right? So it's taking that extra second, to confirm that we are pushing. Because this fight, we're getting in front of our Zarya, holding this choke. We're demanding bubble on ourselves, right? Because we're far forward. Secondly, right, they're walking out, right? So it's the same thing. We took their Zarya, okay. But we should really be looking to pressure the Reaper. Right, we have our boop again. What is their Reaper doing? He's just walking into your Zarya. And your backline. He's not getting booped at all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing, right? And then again, just look at the fight, figure out where he is, and then how we can fuck him up, right? Yeah. That kind of sums up the time I have for attack. And then we can go to defense. Something at 311. What do we got here? Oh, this is kind of the same thing. Our Reaper TP's up top. Our Monkey jumps in. Again, not saying, these might not be the best decisions individually for our team, right? But we still, we have to support our tank, which, whatever we do. Right? Yeah. So again, we are the first thing we choose is to go on the BAP, which is fine, right? But is the Reaper, is it worth trading our Monkey, right? And for a chance of killing their BAP, especially since your Monkey jumped in, right? So we can boop the Reaper away and then shoot the BAP, right? or at least make that decision: is the Reaper a threat? First, because your monkey jumped in and just exploded, right?
Yeah.
A little hard for you because you did just kind of jump across the map, but at least making an attempt is, what I'm going with, right? And then we have one at 4:42. This will be another kind of the start of attack. Right here. Right, so I'll replay it, go a little further back. We're coming back. Monkey's primaling. Right, he just jumped back. Play it real time. Right, is your monkey in danger right now?
No.
No, so we can just passive heal, right? Especially since he put bubble, right? But what this looks like to the enemy team is they wasted amp and bubble for nothing. Now they can push, right? And they didn't use any cooldowns, right?
Yeah.
So you always want to have like a positive, make the enemy team use more cooldowns than we use, right? Because now we're starting this fight with at a disadvantage. So again, maybe we speed in to kite the bomb and we push on the enemy team and kill this baby diva faster because we have amp speed, right? But because we don't have that, that's not an option. Yeah. And then the other big fight is over here, right here. So we're coming back, just lost that fight. Our monkey jumps up, we go and help, right? Let me talk, I guess this is where I talk a little bit about the comp. What's one of the most important cooldowns in like the owl meta? Some people call it like banana rush, it's kind of funny.
Bubble.
Bubble, right? So you just use bubble, so are we gonna push?
No.
No, right? We have ultimates, we have, maybe we push with Sojourn or Kiriko ult, right? But generally, we're gonna try and, use bubble, see what happens, then maybe we push, maybe we don't, right? We amp speed, and you go in, but monkey doesn't, right? So not saying this is bad by you or bad by monkey, it's just a disconnect, right? If we wanted to push, we didn't, right? So less concerned with you being here and more concerned with like what's the team looking like. So do you remember what happened this fight?
No.
That's okay, right? But it goes back to like if you want to amp speed in, just kind of make sure your tank is going in, right? Just kind of look at him, amp speed. You could follow, like your monkey doesn't even need to jump. He can just walk with the speed, right? That way he can jump out. Same thing with your Reaper or your Soldier, right? They get the speed in. They don't have to. They can slide out. They can TP or Wraith out, right? And then again, we kind of just end up in front of our tank, right? And against a better team, we just like instantly explode, right? Let's look at like their Soldier. Yeah, like the Soldier doesn't even know you're there, right? Doesn't hear the Lucio sliding. Or skating on the wall. Yeah. And this fight kind of goes everywhere. Yeah, those are the main things, right, that I want us to think about, right? Being in sync with your monkey, right? Again, he doesn't talk, that's okay. You can take, like you said, you can take more of an initiative in that calming role, and then with our speeds or engages, just keeping an eye on him. If you're speeding and telling him to walk, do it as he's walking. Maybe not before. And then really the big thing is just peeling their Reaper away, right? And something that could be a good judge of that, especially in the mirror match, right? Because teams will scrim this a lot, is just watching their Reaper and how many times does he get booped? Is he able to just walk inside your monkey and just, triple headshot him and then he explodes? Or is it harder for him to do that, right?
Yeah.
If he's flanking and somewhere else, you just can't boop or, but generally he's just going to walk into your monkey, right? Or into your Zarya. And are we making that difficult for him, right? Yeah. Any questions or anything you want me to go back to?
No.
It was a little on the short side, but that's the main thing. And then our amps weren't bad, overall, but just keeping in mind with our amp heals, right, is the big thing, right?
Okay.
Does our team need it? Yes, no, right? Because we saw here in this fight, like we could have used it to push when they diva bombed, right? Because the bomb exploded somewhere over
Yeah.
here. If we amp speed when our monkey jumped in, no one would die to the bomb, and we'd be killing them, faster. We'd insta kill their baby diva, right? Is the big thing.
All right. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and yeah, if you have any other questions, you can feel free to DM me. I'll reply when I can. And then if you want any team coaching from the for your whole team, the gymnasium also offers that on their website too. Just
All right.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Well,
Thanks.
No problem. Well, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
You too. Have a good one.